Okay, hello. So I definitely needed some food. I realized that we can do this. We just need some basic stuff here. So I want uh, some basic rules. So inside, I want any document where the user ID field is the same as the authenticated. I want any document to have the following rules. I want want any to allow okay. For fuck's sake, this is so hard to express. So user has a project ID claim on them. I want them to be able to access any document within project ID, given that the claim matches the project, but also with the following rules. The document, if the document has a user ID field, the user gets write access to the document if field matches authentication. If document has can read, if user UID is in the array, if user UID is a match, if the document has can write field, the user gets. If the document has can write field, the user gets read to the document if user UID is in the array. Okay, so the idea here is that we allow the project to create whatever collections and documents it wants. The way we do user access is that if the document has a user ID field, it means that anyone can create a document in any collection. But the user ID field has to match their authenticated ID. And that makes them the admin of that document. So they can read and remove and update that document. But then, as the owner of that document, they can also add like can read, which is an array of other user IDs. Of other user IDs that can also read the document. And if the document has can write field, that are other users that can actually write to the document. Now, does this even make sense? So for example, if I wanted to invite some other user, first of all, we would need a collection that puts users in that collection, like a searchable thing. So whenever a user authenticates in the app, we would need to write a document to like profile or user search or whatever, where you have user ID and then yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no. As a user, I feel the user gets. Yeah, so. Fuck. How do we do this? Like, I'm trying to use Firebase rules to create like these generic rules that will work for any project. Like, it's insane. But what do I actually want to do here? I think has a private field. If the document has a private field, but this doesn't make any sense because fuck. What if you created a to-do app, right? Do you create a collection called to-dos, and then you have a user ID, and then you would index on the user ID, right? You could also argue that you create a collection, like you say to-dos, and then you have like another collection that's like the UID of a user, so that like each user have their own collection. But that doesn't actually make sense. Okay. So if the document has a user ID field, the user gets read-write access to the document. So if the document has a public field, is public. Like I have to probably do a prefix thing. So if the document has a user ID field, the user gets read-write access to the document if user ID is a match. So if you create a new to-do, you put user ID in there, it's all good. If the document has is public field, any user can read that document. If the so if the document has a is public field, the user gets yeah, so maybe it should rather be like an object. A document can have have an access control field, which is an object of public boolean read UID write UID. Okay, what does this mean? So a document can have an access control field, which is an object of by default, no other users can access this document. A document can have an access control field, object of public boolean read UID or write UID. If the document has access control public, any user can read the document. But it's kind of weird because it is kind of weird. So if I do have like public, it doesn't make any sense to have read. Oh, you know what? What we can rather do is, yeah. So we're not gonna do public. Access control read, Boolean or UID. Right? Boolean or UID. So if document has read equals to true, any user can read yeah. If the document has access control read equals to true, any user can read the document. If as access control write equals to true, any user can write to the document. If the document has as an array and UID of user is in the array, the user can read the document. And then the same for write. As an array and UID of user is in the array, the user can write the document. Okay, let's see what you do with this. I think this gives a lot of flexibility because then if the agent has this information, it should be able to build up whatever collections and logic it needs to, for example, if you want to invite some other user, what it will probably do then is have like a collection of the actual users in the project. So when the user signs in, they are added to, they write their own document to this like shared search thing. And they say read true, right? Anyone can read this. And then you can invite that user. So you just add like invitations, and then you put user ID would be yourself, but then you say can read that specific, or can write would be that specific user, I think. But the huge ass problem here is if like, of course, like even in Firebase, you tend to go to functions, right? If you need to handle anything as an admin, or so that's not supported here. You can't do functions. Or what if you change something that requires you to migrate all the users? You can't handle that, right? So it doesn't matter. Like even if we give people access to authentication and persistence, they still don't have what they need to actually build something. Because you have to deal with security, you have to deal with migrations. Like there's so much stuff you have to deal with. Owner matches. Oh, can it actually do this? I can't imagine that working. Has? Where's that? It's funny how it like confidently just said it was has, and then it confidently says it has any. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like if you want to create like a tic-tac-toe game and you want to invite someone, well, I guess then you could like use a URL or something instead. You wouldn't actually like send an invitation. Hey, look at that. Okay, but this, at least this gives it something, right? To deal with access control. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a tic-tac-toe game and we're gonna try to make it multiplayer. And I'm not gonna tell it how to handle that, but at least it understands the rules it works within. Cool. Okay, so we're just gonna add this to the project uses Firebase and the following rules are applied. Project usage Firebase. All authenticated users had a project ID, which can be used to manage collections within the following rules. This is going to be very interesting. Okay, so that's our coding agent. So now we're gonna try to do some stuff. I do wonder if we're gonna... Are we just gonna change this thing? I think we can. We can go in and just push the changes here. Git and with rules. Now we could just reset it. Project. This is gonna be interesting. npm run dev. So we haven't worked a lot with agent. Like the agent is very simple. It has a very simple instruction. It has access to querying the code rag, and it has access to reading and writing files. That's the only thing it has. So it's quite basic now, but we have the fundamentals in place. So I'm going to ask it to, could you write me a tic-tac-toe game where I can create a new game and share my URL with some other... How are we going to do this? I need to be authenticated with 2 different Google... Well, I have my CodeSandbox email. I can use that. But then I need to be signed into a different browser. Do I have Arc? Do I have Google? No, Chrome, I mean. Do I have Chrome? No. But I have Arc. Let's see, just 2 seconds. I just have to make sure I don't show anything I shouldn't show. This is my personal one. Let's see, Google, Gmail. Yeah, this is my personal one. Can I change to my CodeSandbox one? Verify it's you. I can't remember my password. Oh, I did remember my password. Okay, so I think I'm signed in with my CodeSandbox account here. Okay, could you write me a tic-tac-toe game where I can create a new game and share my URL with someone else? and they will join that game. Where I can create a new game and share my URL with someone else, and they will join that game. Yeah, do I have to say, like, the point is to do something very ambiguous. Like, this is what we want them to do, right? Let's just do it, see what happens. By the way, we're using GPT-4. We can change that. We can... Here's a high level. Since we have the Firebase setup, and the thing is, like, I do not expect it to work on the first try, right? And that's not the point either. Like, it needs to be a flow where it can validate and all of this. Oh, we don't have React Router. Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna sign in. Was much going on here. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder what it did. So it created a tic-tac-toe game, but it didn't actually... use of current user, set game state, start new game. Yeah, we're gonna change the model for sure, see how it changes, but I'm just very curious. Let's try sign in with Google. Like, is this the... Let's just shove tic-tac-toe game in here. I want to see what happens. Oh yeah, look at this. Failed to resolve import Firebase. That's interesting. Why did it want a Firebase file? Anyways, so we're just gonna... I wonder, by the way, is it... Yeah, it's fixing the... That's really cool. Okay, so let's just do a clean it up. Git reset hard. And what we're gonna do is, I want to see how it changes with a better agent or a better model. So we're gonna do OpenAI API models. Can we use O3 Mini? What's the other one? O3 Mini, the one for coding. O3 Mini High. Can I use O3 Mini High? I guess not. O3 Mini. Fine. O3 Mini High. Yeah. Okay. Let's try O3 Mini. O3 Mini. Oh, look at this. It's even in there. Cool. And I guess it restarts the, oh, what happened here? Cannot use in operator to search. Ugh, I don't like this. Okay, so I'm not, that sucks. We're gonna just clean out the index. But maybe that, like the reason we got that llama index error is because of, we have this issue with llama index when we start the service. I have no idea how to fix that. False, and it restarts again. Boop. Let's try again. Oh, we actually have the history here now. What did I ask it? So let's create another one. Could you write me a tic-tac-toe game where I can create a new game and share my URL with someone else and they will join the game to play with me? I wonder if it like even queries the... Yeah, by the way, we can run the project. Oh, what? What are you doing? Yeah, this is not what I want at all. Yeah, I think I have some pretty bad instructions. Instructions are difficult. You are a helpful... You are an engineer that implements code in a project. You can do the following. Query, what do I call it? Query the code base. Prompt the code base to learn about the project and where to make changes. Read files, write files. Project uses Firebase. All authenticated users has a project ID which can be used to manage collection with the following rules. And documents with the following rules. You will always implement on behalf of the user. The user does not know how to code. All authenticated users of the application and where to make changes. You will always, the user doesn't know how to code. The project uses Firebase. All authenticated users of the has a project ID which can be used to manage collections and documents with the following rules. Okay. So I'm so curious. I would love to see like a presentation on how like VS Code does coding agents and like what's the high level implementation of it. But it's a lot of engineering effort, like instructions and workflows. But maybe we could try that. We could try a workflow and see if that can like help it kind of go through its reasoning. So we could create a workflow that basically it tells it to go and use, like figure out where to put something in the code. Then make the implementation. We could even do like validate the implementation and so on and so on. But yeah, this is the difficult part. And I can't see it using any of the functions. Does O3 Mini have function calling? Should have. Oh, you're thinking. Oh, yeah. Why doesn't it query the code drag tool? It was just trying to write the file. I find that very curious. I find it very curious. So, write file. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, sorry, string. Read file query code. Yeah, I find it interesting that it doesn't do it. Query the code agent. Always query the code agent to learn about to get relevant context for the request from the user. Read files to relevant context for making changes. Write files to write new code. User does not know how to code them. Yeah. I don't know. Doop. I'm thinking about how to. I was hoping it would kind of do something, right? There will be some spark of opportunity here, but it's like it's completely failing. So I'm not in the mood to iterate on an agent. It's not. Why doesn't it use the query tool? I find that very curious. It just writes a public file. Public. Do we even have a public folder? No, we don't have a public folder, which is why it fails. respect the following instructions. Always query the code agent to get relevant context for the request from the user. This will help you understand where to make changes and how to make them. To get relevant code context, read any files mentioned by the code agent to understand what changes needs to be applied. Right. Read any files mentioned by the code agent to understand what changes. Read and write files to apply changes to the application. Okay, we're going to put it last. And then we're going to ask again. And if it still doesn't give any spark, we're going to drop. Let's see, we're going to drop it. I'm not in the mood to, let's see, play around with this. Like if I can't even get it to query the agent that knows the code base, like that's, then there's no hope. Why? Why is it so bad? And why does it say, like, it doesn't query the code agent? GPT 04, 4.0 or whatever did that. Below is the complete code. Like, what did it even do? Like, I find this very curious. I don't like this. Like, I don't like this model. Yeah, flushing index HTML. Just wrote it to the index HTML, but just happened to like. Oh shit! I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, whatever. There you go. Why is it so bad? Why doesn't it use the... O1 Mini? Yeah, I'm gonna... I find this super, super curious. Why it's so bad. But this like 4.0 isn't good enough to code. That's for sure. Like this is more reasoning than all three. Oh, look at this. Oh, fudge. Ah, sorry. My bad. It didn't update when I reset the Git, it didn't update the code rag. Like this is not going good at all. Spent so much time on that code rag thing, and this is what we're getting. I'm not very impressed. Oh, Christian. I find this very curious. Like, why React v TypeScript Firebase? So it's what's interesting to me is it's not asking enough, right? Why is it saying this? Yeah, this is not working. Beat configuration, HTML file, ESLint configuration, beat. And Firebase. It initializes a Firebase app with the provided configuration. I want to try something. Yeah, I want to try something. I think like the point is like if it can't even, by the way, what's the model we're using for the actual query engine? Is that configured anywhere? Index, that's embedding, but we have for the actual thing, isn't it like OpenAI? Oh, that's for the, yeah, and then we have embedding model, but what's the model used for the query engine? I wonder. Anyways, I wonder, say, if you just asked it for like a, yeah, I don't know. I find this, what is the current tech stack of that? Are there an existing? Well, this is a great response, but it's like asking, you know what, we're gonna try something. I'm just curious about the behavior. And again, we're using O4. I would love to have tried like Claude or something, but we don't have access to that now. Keep querying the code agent to get for the you need to get a solid understanding of the current code base. What is already available for the request to support the request from the user, and where do you need to apply changes. Keep querying the code agent until you have a solid understanding of the current code base. What is already available to support the request from the user, and where changes needs to be applied. Until you have a solid understanding of it. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's delete this. Like I have two like goals with this. One goal is to actually see if it's possible to. Why aren't you querying the code agent? Oh, was this the current? Includes React as the front end. Oh, game session or similar feature based on the provided context. Huh. Yeah, are there any existing components or pages in React application that could be used or extended for the? There are no. How is routing currently handled? Okay, well, this is actually really good. But it's lacking like, what is like where do I extend? What is already, and where, yeah, but this is what I'm trying to state here. Like, and where is the entry point for applying the changes? Existing application. Read and write files to apply changes to that. Okay, but that was actually really good. We're gonna do one more change here, which is write file. Well, no, because we don't care. Like if it's trying to, what was it actually trying to do? Project source. Oh, it tried to read a file that doesn't exist. Another thing is like, why isn't it returning? Yeah, I wonder how much the query engine helps. Like, because what we're enabled now is to like ask it about things. But maybe that's not what we want. maybe that's too short. Like, it's very impressive with Llama Index that you can like query your embeddings and you get like an actual LLM response. But in the context of like CodeRag, what we really want is just to get relevant summaries, right? And then it's up to the LLM, the coding agent itself, to figure out. Yeah. We could try that. So we don't even use Llama Index. We just use Quadrant and we get the results and they have the metadata, which includes the actual summaries. Like, it does add a lot more context though. It's very interesting how you can actually like get these summaries. But we're gonna do one small change here. Make sure the coding agent knows all file paths and can give you all files and folders and can give you relevant paths. Okay. But I'm super surprised by O3 Mini. Like, why the hell was it worse at reasoning about this and using the tools? Maybe there's a bug in it. Wonder what it's asking. Oh, look at it. What is the current tech stack? Are there an existing implementation? Blah, blah, blah. Regarding real time, are there an existing firmware for setup or configuration based on the prior? Or configuration? That's not true. Yeah, there's no specific reference to Firestore or its configuration. That's simply not true. Here it says it initializes a Firebase app. That's very interesting. Huh. Yeah, I think we're gonna try without the LLM in Llama Index and just rely on Quadrant and see how that works. That's very interesting. Did it just stop or? Yeah, it's also kind of weird that it's like, yeah, nothing's happening here. Okay, I want to try that. So we are not gonna do, how can we try that without, can I like bypass as retriever? So this would be index retriever, vector index retriever, vector index retriever. So core engine, what does it actually do? Retrieve. node with score. Yeah, exactly. So now it just returns, is there like a, yeah, no. So now we're just retrieving based on the query. Yeah, I guess we can just look at the result, but now I'm not sure. Can I just return result? I think maybe, let's see, let's map over it. Node metadata, yeah. So what we can do is path summary. What did I call it? Did I call it text or summary? I think I called it summary. Yeah, and then we're going to change this thing to be an array of set object path summary, like that. And then we're going to take a look at the result still. npm run dev. Wonder if this changes anything. Yeah, what about the instructions now? Now they're weird. Yeah, whatever. Let's just try it. Whatever. Continue. I have to refresh maybe. Oh. Let's see what it does. Oh, summary is undefined. Oh, I did something wrong. Where, what, didn't I add summary to metadata? Oh, it's text. You know what? We're gonna call it some, well, okay, let's call it text so I don't have to re-index again. Where was it? Summary. Text. Cool. Let's try again. Boop. Boop. Tic-tac-toe game where I can create a new game and share my URL with someone else, and they will. The current code base is right. With Firebase, however, there's no existing for handling the games. We'll need to create. Oh, yeah. Well, like these errors, I should really not like throw an actual error here. I should return like not found or something. Actually continue reasoning. But it's interesting how it. Well, yeah, what is it asking? What is the current tech stack of the? Are there any existing? Is there an existing implementation for handling game sessions? Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. Well, I remember like a year ago playing around with this, and I just completely get stuck in. Like the problem isn't the prompt, right? It's everything. It a huge effort to create anything valuable out of these models. And again, I'm using like 4.0 here. But we're just gonna change the query, the code to get relevant files and summaries. Keep querying the code until they have a solid current code. What did okay, that's fine. And then I want to try O3 mini again. Cool. Doop. Yeah. This is all very interesting, but it's difficult stuff. And I have like an idea of like it should be simpler to some extent. Like it's so weird. Like when you use these. No, you're not querying. You are not querying. Oh, for fuck's sake. I wonder what happens here now. Why isn't it querying? Like it's writing the file, so it does have access to tool calls, but for some reason, maybe it's just thinks it's too smart. Oh, okay. So now when I do, oh, interesting. Updating directories. Flushing. Okay, so I definitely, god damn it. So that's fine, but why? Added unlinked. And these are the, wait a minute, did I actually remove unlinked ones? Wait a minute, flushing, changed, unlinked. And then it got down to where? I'm not using unlinked here. Oh, here we are. So I guess this is where it fails. Cannot use in operator to search for in undefined. Well, maybe I shouldn't add that. Okay, well, we have to. By the way, why isn't it querying the code? Always keep querying the code. respect the following flow. Keep querying the code, what's it called? The code tool, query code, the tool query code, until you have a solid understanding of to use, read, and write file tools to apply changes to the application. Okay, we're going to try that, and then we're going to say true. We need to rebuild the index. And then I'm not going to play around with this anymore, I think. This kind of sucks. I was waiting for this like amazing moment of it actually doing something. But we can't even get it to learn about the code base. Like, and this is the thing about one-shot. Like one-shot. Like it can do a lot of impressive stuff with one-shot, but it can't do it in the context of existing code. It's really bad at that. And how do you build up the context of what already exists? That is the biggest challenge. So even when you use agents locally, right? You have to give them the context. You have to give them the files that they're going to operate in. They don't just understand it. And I don't want that. I want it to be able to act on your project, not on files. But to do that, it has to be better at learning about the code. And I've given it a tool for it, but I can't like make it use it. Please query. Well, it does learn something. God's change. What did it do? What did you do? But this is the thing. Like I wanted to, now it's querying about specific files. It shouldn't do that. It should query conceptually. Yeah, and look at this. This is shit. Oh, I feel like we're so far away from having anything valuable here. Like, and the point of this project wasn't to create the actual coding agent. It was to create the tools and environment for it to operate in. And we did that, but creating a coding agent is fucking difficult. I had no intuition on how to do that well. I have a stronger intuition of like, yeah, providing it with the environment and tools. Query like it doesn't understand how to use the tool. Like when it gives it file names, it just doesn't do the right thing. Conceptual file tree that has summaries of all files and folders in the project. That has descriptions and summaries of all files and folders in the project. Well, it's not a conceptual file tree. A conceptual representation of the code base. Query to find relevant files and folders. With descriptions and summaries. Yeah, something like that. It's funny, like even the demo I did last time was so much better. Like it actually got in and did stuff that was more expected. Yeah. So let's delete that one. Let's see if it's actually able to. Let's change. Is it able to delete it now? No. Why can't you? In undefined. You know what? We're gonna change that. We have to be able to update. Where's the code rag? Delete refdoc. I don't think this is the thing we want to do. I think we just want to go in and index vectors. This dot vector store. Delete. Let's try that instead. Continue, delete, continue. Maybe I'm like, it makes so much sense when I talk about this conceptual representation of the code base. It makes so much sense to me. But there's a lot of stuff that makes sense to me that doesn't make sense to an LLM or anyone else for that matter. So maybe I wonder how VS Code. I'm gonna ask. How does VS Code index the code in a project for an LM to better understand the context of the code? Local VS Code creates a local project database capturing the structure and content of the code file. This in snippets, yeah. When you interact with the VS Code, the index is going to perform semantic searches, retrieving pertinent code snippets and metadata. Yeah. And it's just writing. God damn it. Why isn't it doing my... Why isn't following my instructions? Yeah, I find this to be very weird. 4.0? GPT 4.0. I have no idea why it's so bad at following the instructions. Maybe it's because of all this shit. Maybe I should rather describe to it. You know what? We can try that. Well, then GPT 4.0 should have the same issue, right? Why is GPT 4.0 so good at following my instructions and O3 Mini is so bad? I'm very, very curious about that. tsconfig app. This is just horrible. It doesn't work. Like, it just, yeah, it's like shit. Oh my god, this is just horrible. Yeah, I don't have any intuition of making this better. Like, look at this stuff. It's... Look at the stuff it's getting. Tic-tac-toe game source code. What is the magical question to understand, like, understand the code base? Oh my god. Hi, Adam. I'm not having fun with this. It's horrible. It's not working. It's not doing what I want it to do. But we did talk about, like, what if you gave the complete code base as context to an LLM? But what if you didn't have to give it the complete code base? What if you could give it the summaries instead? I want to try that just for fun. Is there a way I could do that? So we just basically go and grab all the documents. And we're just going to create like a new tool, which is just get codebase. Yeah, but it's probably more valuable what you're doing. I feel like I'm like not contributing with anything. What was I gonna do? Yeah, I was thinking about like, what if we just, what do we have here? We have code rag run query. Yeah, so what if this query is basically, yeah, what if we just return everything? So we don't even do this. We actually go in and do the thing we did here. We're just gonna scroll through everything. That will be interesting. So what happens if we just give it everything? Because you can, like when you have these short summaries, like instead of having like all the code of a file, you have like this you have this very condensed text, right? Which gives you a summary of what it does. I'm not sure how much text that would be in a relatively large code base, but you could do things like start giving, like, depending on the nested level, right? You would give, because that's the power of like having summarized folders, is that you can like nest it. So you just give like the broad overview and then it can dive deeper in. Maybe that's the idea here, is like you don't query. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? It's kind of like read dir, right? Read directory. But instead of just getting the paths, you get a summary as well. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. So instead of like query the code base, it's gonna actually read by path, but it's gonna get a different kind of result. Oh, this is exciting. So we're gonna add another one, async read there, file path string. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm not sure what the actual path is for so we have to match it on parent path, but I'm not sure what the parent path is when it's on the root. Is it an empty string? But let's just try it. So, oh, this is going to be fun. Directory path. So we're going to not even match on this. We're going to give parent path is the directory path. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm pumped again. So we're going to return, we're going to map, and we're going to say path and summary. Yeah, and then it can choose to dive deeper in, right? It can call read there again for a specific directory, right? So it's a very efficient way to kind of just dive in and get understanding of the code base. Okay. That's it, I think. So we're gonna log this, console.log reading their directory path. And then we're gonna also look at the const results. So what if, like, this is a really cool idea. What if when you use your file explorer, what if you could like hover files, and it wouldn't just give you the path. It would actually give you a summary of what the file does, right? That would be so cool. Anyways, let's console reading their results. Okay, this is gonna be fun. We need to change our tool to not be, we're gonna call it read there. Read a directory, return a list of files, directories, and their summaries. It would be amazing, like you could have sarcastic summaries and stuff. So output schema here would actually be an array of path and summary. Yeah. Cool. And it should understand based on the path what's a directory and file, right? So, oh, by the way, here I actually have query. Okay, so we're doubling down on it now. Let's see, return. Okay, cool. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let's just, I don't think it matters. We can still call it query code. And then in the instruction, read directories to get an understanding of the code base, to get read directories until you have enough context to act on the requested change from the user. Okay, interesting. Let's try it again. Boop. So like doing a query is interesting, like for a human. Oh, it didn't read anything? Oh, it did. So it read source. Oh, why is it only giving 2 results? Why does it keep reading the same? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, what the hell happened there? Is it run query, code rank query, retrieve? Why don't I get more? Oh wait, as retriever. Top K, is that like the number of top K? Like I want all of them. Oh, you know what? We shouldn't even use this. Wait, I'm not using it, am I? Wait a minute. What are we doing? Query. Oh wait, did I do the wrong thing? Run query. Wait, what are we doing? Oh, sorry. We're not using the right tool. Read there. There we go. Return. Excuse me, that was the wrong thing. No one. Oh, and then we have it wrote some stuff. And I guess, can we delete them now? I wonder what's going to happen. Yeah, did you? Are you watching demos of Grok? It's very, very funny. I would love to have a coding assistant that would be tic-tac-toe game. No, it's, why is it? It doesn't seem to actually remove it. How do I actually remove the? Oh my god, How do I actually delete? Yeah, deletes the given nodes. Unlinked. And then it gets director. Oh, get directories from file paths. Yeah, unlinked. And then updating directory source, but it still references tic-tac-toe game. How can it do that? I just deleted it. That sucks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a bit awkward that they don't curse. Yeah, I definitely had moments of mixed feelings with these AIs. But why the hell does this scroll thing pick up on the these files? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. I just deleted it. I have this code. Is it because the file path is like different somehow? So when I first, do I still have the? Okay, we're gonna actually console.log resolve file. So we're gonna give parent path. We don't care about the summaries anymore. Dear name path. Yeah, so we're gonna do that and then resolve directory dear name path. Cool. Okay, and then we have to, if false, we have to rebuild the index. Oh, interesting. It's an actual dot. So we have to make sure that we check that when it runs the tool. So if it's like an empty string, it's considered like the dot. So where is it? Code rag, read there, read directory path or dot. Cool. Okay, let's try now. Does it now do a good job retrieving its context? No. Oh, interesting. So we tried source, but let's see how it actually stores it. Oh, it's without the slash, right? So we have to normalize the, we have to normalize things. Or we just have to describe the string, right? We're gonna try that first. So where's the tool? So where's reader? Yeah, it should be called path, right? Description, describe, directory path, use dot for roots, and no leading. No, that's what's the opposite of leading? Like, and no leading. Adam, you speak English. Like you have a leading slash and you have a, is it following? And no for root and no leading or following delimiters. Trailing. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay, I think this is good enough, but we are gonna change the path here. We're gonna change the path here. Did it actually write something? Oh, it wrote a backend. Look at that. Oh my God. How are we gonna get, do I have to? And then I guess it's not able to build up correctly the index again. Yeah. Oh shit. So we're gonna, oh my God, resolve directory. We're gonna have the summary here still. I wonder, like, I did literally delete the record from the database. Why, oh why? Oh, actually, oh, this is interesting. It doesn't resolve the root directory. Ooh. Ah, I see. That's also a big problem. Most nested directories first. And I guess, oh, that's so interesting. That's a good thing we picked up on. That kind of loses, like if you don't have access to the root directory, then, so I think we should just like concatenate dot here. Yeah. Okay, very interesting. Let's run the indexer again. That's a huge ass bug. I can't believe it. That's might be why we had so much issues before as well. Like we didn't index the the root directory. That's kind of important. Well, we did index the files, so no, it can't have been that big of a deal. There we go. Okay, false. And now it's actually using read there, I think, correctly. So let's see what it does now. Look at this. Hey, now this is much better than anything. Let's see what it's doing. So it says to create blah, 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 game creation, game joining, game state management, real time. Let's start by setting up the basic structure. We'll need to create a Firestore collection to store game. Oh, come on. To understand, we'll need to create a Firestore collection to store and implement logic for creating and joining games. First, let's read the directory structure to understand where to place the new code. The project is structured as a React application using Vite and TypeScript with Firebase for authentication. The main application logic in blah, blah, blah. We will create a Firebase collection, store game data, including the board state and player, implement game logic. Let's start by creating a new component for the tic-tac-toe game and updating the app TSX file. Like, that's also very good. Ah! Okay, we need to fix this. I can completely understand why it wants to change. So this is like a non-intuitive thing to do. Yeah, I think we need to do this and then delete this. A non-intuitive thing to do. Like this thing, you should not be creating your own Firestore rules. Which you normally do, right, in Firebase. And I want to try to do something else here. Respect the following rules. Use the existing Firebase. Never read or write Firebase rules. The application is part. I never read or write Firebase rules. The application rather follow this convention. Use the signed, the authenticated project ID. Use the authenticated project ID. Use the project ID from the authentication to target the root collection, the root Firebase, Firestore. Okay, use slash projects project ID to target the root project in Firebase. Oh, interesting. You can actually store the rules. Oh, that's interesting. You could also store rules. Can you? No, that doesn't make sense. The project ID is available on the authentication context. Add documents with a user ID to any collection with a user ID key to own that to let the user own that document. Optionally add access control key to the document to control who else has access. Access control read use true to allow anyone to read the document, or insert UID of other users. Access control write use true to allow anyone to write the document, or insert UID of other users. Oh, did it still? Yeah, it still does the horrible thing. Tic-tac-toe react comp. Why does it find it? Is there like a delete? Delete client, delete. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do client this dot vector store collection name. Oh. Delete vectors. Oh, maybe I actually, oh, this is interesting. How do I delete something from a vector database using the ID? I have this code. So this was delete. Oh, points. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is it. Okay, we're gonna try that, and then we need to start it again. But this is pretty cool. I really like that, pushing through this and thinking about, okay, we are creating a conceptual representation of the code base or a conceptual tree, but instead of like querying the tree semantically, we still do the legacy read dir. It's just that we have more details about each file. But it's up to the agent to kind of figure out how deep it needs to go to figure out everything. And because we're summarizing the directories, there should be hints about what's inside, like deeper down, right? So it kind of extends on the information as it drills down. As opposed to a traditional read dir, which is just the file names and directory names. And there's no, like, and it has to read all the files to understand what's in them. It's surprising how much context you can get from just names of a file, of course. What were we doing? But it's definitely not enough when you have like very ambiguous prompts. Oh my god, oh my god. False. Boop. Yeah, and we're gonna try you know what? And now we're gonna try 040 03 mini again. Because it is better. Like, it's a freaking reasoning model. It has to be better. Look at that. It's reading, at least. Though I think you need to read one more. You need to read a bit more. Maybe we should actually insert if it's a directory or a file. Yeah. It started writing. Okay, but this is not good enough, mister. What did it actually do? Interesting. It would be interesting to test it. Yeah, let's just read what it does here. Game status, create game. Like, what does it do? DB games. It does not. Yeah, but it adds the game ID. That's interesting. Yeah. The only thing it doesn't do is that the DB it doesn't follow the principles of like, it doesn't point into projects. So this wouldn't work. But where does it create DB? Yeah, it just does get Firestore. Yeah. So it wasn't able to follow my instruction on collections. Huh. Interesting. But let's see now if I delete this file. Does the indexer work? Oh, the root collection. Updating. Hey, look at that. It worked. Nice. Now we don't have to do that thing. Use all collections must start with to target the root project in Fire. All collections must start with projects to target the root project in Firebase. Yeah, I wonder how you would like really get an agent to safely understand these rules. Whatever. And like these are very simple what were we doing? Yeah, I wanted to add execute run query. Where was it? Create run query. Read there. We're gonna do. Oh, what the hell? I can't hit enter here. What the hell happened? Type. It was type, right? That we use. I have to check that. Yeah, type. Read. Keep reading relevant directories until you have enough context to act on the requested change from the user. Like, so, anyways. Okay, cool. So we're gonna try again. Boop. This is the last time. I think I need to do some other stuff. But yeah, I wonder, like, it's so frustrating to develop this kind of stuff. Because you get super hyped and then you get just crushed, and then you get super hyped and then you just get crushed. And it's so like, there's no like trajectory, like stable trajectory on progress. It's very much like back and forward, and it's very frustrating. I should really say always start reading the root directory and keep reading directories until you have enough context. But it just blows my mind that it thinks that it can just go ahead and implement something. It makes absolutely no sense. Oh, interesting. Updating direct. Ah, for fuck's sake. Always read the root directory and keep reading relevant directories until you have enough context. Yeah, and this thing. Oh. Blah. And then we had a mistake here. So when directories, get directories from file paths. Oh, not equal to dot. Yeah, I think this should work. And then we need to, if false, Can't believe this. True. Oh, does it actually store? Oh, god damn it. We have to fix something. Get direct resolve directory. So we shouldn't have parent path. Path equals dot undefined. All right, let's build it up again. If true. Or it would get into a loop. That's not good. All right. What were we doing? Oh, yeah, we were just trying it. Yeah, your API key, that's because it didn't read the source directory. So it didn't know anything about it. Like, you have to read the code base. What the fuck? Why aren't you following my instructions? O3 Mini is horrible at following instructions. God damn it. I can't believe that I... Look at this shit. So, where's the index? And these two, we don't care about them. I can't believe this. Oh, interesting. File too large. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna make another change as well. File too large. So the summary here needs to be... Yeah, it still needs to have this. Sorry. But that's no biggie. Oh, fuck, didn't I? If... Oh, fudge. I forgot to turn it off. False. Cool. Let's get back to 04 because you're behaving. 4.0, I mean. I'm getting tired of this. I am getting super tired of this. Like the idea is like, as long as the agent asks, like builds up enough context about the current code and have access to reading and writing files, that should be, you should get exceptionally far with that. Like, and that's what I'm not understanding here. Like, why aren't we getting further? Huh? Did it actually? Oh yeah. It did actually read it. And did it first read? Yeah. First read that thing and then the other thing. Yeah, like it does. This is so weird. Like, why is 4.0 so much better than 03 mini? Was that it? Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah. Why? Okay, but this is, I think this is like relatively okay. It, like, this just shows how dumb the the model is. Like, it just, even though it had all this context, right? It had all the context of the files in the source directory, but it still assumed that there was a Firebase file there. That's just that's just the model, and that's fine. Like, we can't do anything about that. Like, assume Firebase is initialized in this file. It's very interesting because it has the, where is the main file? This file is the entry point for includes the necessary imports. It initializes Firebase with the provider. So like, it's in there. So you can't do anything more than that, right? But it's like, it's used from auth context, and but it's very interesting that it has such a hard time with Firebase being initialized in the main file. Did it? Yeah, look at this. It did projects. Oh, but it uses the user UID. That wasn't it. It should be user project ID. Project ID. Yeah, there should be like a project ID here. Yeah, so I would love to try Claude here instead, but I don't have an account. Maybe I should just get myself an account. Oh shit, it's project ID. Oh, that's why I didn't understand it. Oh, that's set pro. Oh, that's embarrassing. Anyways, so we're gonna make a tiny change here. So let's get back to where we were. Oh, git status, git checkout. Git checkout source app tsx. Git status, git checkout. Yeah, we're gonna delete this tic-tac-toe. So I think our indexer should be pretty good at keeping tabs on things now. Let's see. So yeah, that was a big bummer for me. Like I removed the project ID there. That's kind of important. Read client type for user state handling and error handling, entry point. Yeah, okay. So I think our indexer is okay. What about this index file? Git checkout. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to remove this thing. We're going to initialize. We're going to create a Firebase file. Let's see. And we're going to do a new file, firebase.ts. And we're going to export cons app, initialize app. So let's see, is our indexer keeping pace? Flushing. Oh, interesting. It has main TSX twice. Okay, we can fix that. But it does say, so that's the root. And then I think we're going to get for the source. I think, or do we have one? Vite authentication context for React. No, this isn't right. Okay, we're gonna stop it. I don't like this. Let's see. First of all, where's the flush? So when we added stuff here, changes add. Can we make these sets instead, please? New set. Clear. Okay. And then we're gonna add. Cool. So that was a tiny bug. What were we doing? Oh yeah, and we added like this explicit Firebase thing. So this is yeah, and then we have the auth context with the actual project ID. That's gonna be helpful. That was a bug on my end. Okay. I think that's it. Let's run it again with if true. Let's clear up the index and then Yeah, it was kind of weird because it didn't mention the Firebase file for some reason. That was weird. Cool. And then we have to make sure we put it to false again. Wait, is it resolving it twice? Dot dot. Oh, it's doing it twice. No, that's dot src and then dot dot again. Why? This is updating. Get oh, yeah, because now we are including. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, but that's fine. No, did it start? Oh, god damn. False. Do, 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 do. Okay, false, restart. Let's ask it again. Yeah, because it did read everything. Huh? Oh, där. What does it actually say here? Game updated. You can now create a new game. Okay, so I haven't given it the ability to actually install dependencies, so I'm gonna excuse it for that. I think it would actually have done it if, but let's see first. What did it do here? Oh, wait a minute. This isn't the latest. Oh, wait. Did I ruin it? No. Oh, come on. What did I do? Oh, now I didn't. Oh, shit. Now I didn't get to see what it built. It was a bug in CodeSandbox. So it stored, even though it was dirty and I closed it, it saved the contents of the dirty file. That sucks. So I have no idea what it did there. But it was likely inserting some, let's see, auth context. Did it do anything inside here? Oh, I really need to, no, I think that was just me. Okay, anyways, let's see what it did with the, yeah, I did not respect the project ID thing. Like, it doesn't matter, like it might be just fine, the implementation. But it does kind of suck that it didn't respect the, yeah, that can be the model, just not getting enough context or following instructions. Yeah, but that kind of sucked that we lost what it tried to do in the app. But okay, so we're getting somewhere. So what we could do now is, so what we can do, we're gonna, let's see, we're gonna actually commit some stuff. Let's first just delete this one. And we didn't make changes here or here or, yeah, so we're just gonna commit everything now. Getting there. So I'm gonna change the instructions so that it doesn't never do not install any do not install or use any new dependencies. I'm not sure how this is going to be conveyed to the agent. Like, this is very, very special stuff for this app. So if I were ever to build like a service, would probably create like a Firebase wrapper package which had all this logic inside of it, like how to create collections, and then rather give the kind of the documentation to the model to understand how to like deal with those collections. Like, there's of course super risk that it will just use Firebase directly. Yeah, but let's keep it there for now, and then we're gonna try to ask it again. I guess we should just do this again. So yeah, we're gonna try again just to like see if we can create something that is runnable. That's what I want. And it would be nice to, I think I have Anthropic. Oh, come on. No. Kødder du med meg? Helvetes drit.